Hello there, I'm Eric Renault and this is a video for tipsquirrel.com, the free website for everything Photoshop. In this video I'll be taking this photograph of Paige and turning her into this high key ice queen. Let's jump into Photoshop and see how it's done. So here we are, I've got my one layer, it's a background layer, and I want to sharpen up her eyes. That's all I need to be sharp in this image. So I'm going to do it a strange way, maybe one that you don't usually use. I'm going to use the marquee tool to start with and just make a selection of the eyes and then Control or Command J to jump or duplicate the layer. So now I've got the eyes on their own layer there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Sharpen tool. Now this has been updated in later versions of Photoshop, and if you want to know if you've got the good version, if you look up at the top it should say Protect Detail. If you've got that, then you've got the good version of this tool. If you haven't, then use your usual sharpening methods for the eyes. Alright, let's go and bring a brush up. It's going to be about 50%, 60%, that'll do. And I'm just going to brush around the eyes here to sharpen them up. Now I'm actually going over them twice, so I could have left this at 100%, but I'm just seeing how we get on. There we go, good. Okay, so let's zoom into 100% to see how we're doing. We should always sharpen at 100%, of course. And that's before and that's after. So yeah, we're doing a pretty good job. Let's go over it one more time. There we go. And that's the before and the after. Good. Zoom back out again. Let's go Control 0 to fit it on the screen. Now I'm happy with that. Of course I could reduce the opacity of this layer if I wished, but I'm happy with it. I know I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to choose this drop down menu and merge visible. There we go, we're all into one layer again. Next I need a couple of adjustment layers. Let's go and pop the first one on, and I'm going to choose solid color. Not surprisingly it's going to be white. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to change the blend mode of this from normal to overlay and reduce the opacity of this to about 30%. There we go. Now I need another one of those. So again, solid color, white again, OK, and this time the blend mode will be color. And again, let's drop it down to about 30%. Good, now we're getting somewhere. Now I'm going to zoom back in again to Paige's eyes, because what I need to do is mask out these effects from her eyes. So on the mask here I'm going to use black, I'm going to get a brush and I'm going to paint it in. There we go. It didn't look there was that much happening to her eyes, did it? But there certainly was. There we go. I'm trying to get as much as I can, but without going off the white of the eyes or the color of the eyes. It's that one, and then this one. Good. Now time spent here is well worth doing, I should point out. Let's go on to this one and we'll go along there, go around and up, and that's that one. And let's go over here and just go around this eye as well. I am being a bit quicker than I normally would be, but even so I still want to take a little bit of care. It will show up later on. Okay, Control 0 once again to fit us on screen. Good. Now I've got this first layer selected, I can Control click on the other adjustment layer, so I have them both selected, and then I'm going to press Control and G, and that will group them together. So now I have those two adjustment layers in a group. That's just what we need, because now what we're going to do is duplicate that group. So just as we did with the layer, Control J or Command J if you're on a Mac will duplicate that group. So that's two of those. Looking better. Let's do one more, Control or Command J. That's not too bad at all. I'm going to risk one more for my image. So 4, and I'm getting there, but her eyes are sticking out just a little bit too much. I'm going to take down the opacity of this one right down just so it blends it in a bit better. So there we go. We've already brought this high key Ice Queen image to life. Right, now what we need to do is worry about her hair and her scarf. It's sticking out rather, isn't it? So let's use a great technique. I use this a lot in all kinds of images. I'm going to create a new layer, Then I'm going to go to Edit and Fill. I'm going to fill this with 50% grey. Click OK. And I'm going to change that from normal to overlay. Nothing happens for now, but where I paint with white it's going to get brighter, and if I paint with black it's going to get darker. So let's go and get a white brush, and I'm not going to do it 100%, I'm going to take it right down to about 20%. There we go, 21, that'll do me. I'm going to bring the brush size up just a little bit to start with. There we go. And then I can just come along, I'm dabbing away so I don't do too much, and I can always undo it. And you can see how we're lightening this up, this hair, and giving it some sort of icy kind of snowy qualities. Whoops, that went a bit too much, didn't it? So I can Control Alt Z to go back again. I don't have to worry too much because I was dabbing away. Good. Much better. Let's go and do this scarf down here, so I can just paint lines down here, just to bring it a little bit more cold. Don't want too much warmth in this image at all. And down on the side here as well. Good. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now what I need is a copy of all of this on one layer. What I can do here is I can select the top layer, it's already selected in my case, then I can shift and click on the last layer I wanted because they're all together. Then I'm going to hold down the Alt or Option key if you're on a Mac and choose this downward facing arrow once again and merge visible. And because I've got the Alt key pressed down, what it's going to do there is create a new layer, and it's all going to be on one layer, everything, which is really handy. If you want to do that in a keyboard shortcut, it's Control Alt Shift and E. Alright, there we go. Now what I want to do here is go Filter and Blur and Gaussian Blur, because what we're doing here is going to soften the skin up. So about 7.6 is working well for me here. I could always go a little bit higher, I suppose. Not too high, don't want to lose too much detail, but actually just a nice bit of blurring going on. Like I say, for me around about 7 point something was working well. I'm going to click OK, but we only want parts of the skin to be blurred off, so we need a black mask on there to hide everything so we can paint it back in. Press Alt or Option again and choose to put on a layer mask, and you'll see that it fills it with black. Now we can get a white brush. I'm just going to click the arrow there to make it white, come up to the brush and change the opacity. Yeah, 21's okay actually, and then I'm going to make a bit of a bigger brush to keep it nice and soft, and again just dab my way around, seeing how I'm getting on. And you can see I'm revealing the soft blurred skin behind, and that works really well. Good. I'm going to keep going, bear with me. Alright, we're nice and soft now. There we are, and we're kind of matching up the two halves in this particular image as well. Let's go a little bit smaller, and then I can just paint that bit in, and then down there. Okay, good. So that's without it, and that's with it. Subtle but necessary, I think, for this particular image. So I'm now going to rush through the next bit, because what I want to do is make her eyes nice and bright and green and stand out a bit more. Well, these are other tutorials on Tip Squirrel, so I don't need to go into them here, but I'll show you my working, but I will speed up the film. Okay, there we go. I'm Eric Rano. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to watch to the end, and I'll see you on Tip Squirrel again very soon. Bye bye for now.